EIGRP is configuration we saw in the previous class, like we have two ways of configuring EIGRP, one with the autonomous system only, the other one with the process ID, the name for EIGRP, the named EIGRP, you can call it as named EIGRP. And also we saw default route distribution using EIGRP. So this is where we stopped. Few verification commands like show IP EIGRP neighbor is going to show you this type of output. It shows what is the autonomous system that is running on this router and what's the IP address of the neighbor, via which interface the neighbor is connected, the timer, the uptime, the smooth round trip time, and round trip timeout, all the stuff. Now, if you want to filter and see only EIGRP routes learned on this router, we type EIGRP after show IP route. Show IP route is a common command. We put EIGRP next to it to see only the EIGRP routes. In general, when we type show IP route, you see collective info like EIGRP connected. If you will have any other route source like static route, all those things will be displayed collectively when you type show IP route. Show IP protocol is a command which we widely use to check what all routing protocols that are enabled on this router and what all networks that this routing protocol runs or advertises, and all other parameters like if it is EIGRP, the K values, if you see K1 and K3 alone is on, the rest all are off, 0, which means bandwidth and delay alone is considered. And the default hop count that EIGRP supports is 100. You can increase it up to 255. I remember I showed you in the previous lab. And also about the unequal cost load balancing enabled or not. If it is variance 1, which means unequal cost load balancing is not enabled. So by changing the variance value, we can consider the path that are not of same metric as the successor. What I mean is you can even make an feasible successor to work like a successor route to be seen in the routing table. Usually only the successor route is seen in the routing table, and when you have equal cost path, then you will have more successors. But when there is an unequal cost, there will be successor in both routing table and the topology table, but the feasible successor will not be there in the routing table. But to bring it in the routing table, you have an option. What is that? Configure variance. We'll talk about that in the coming chapters. Now, the other things that we see here is EIGRP 100 is what the autonomous system number. So it can only distribute the routes coming from the neighbor who is in 100. All right. Other things are not that. Okay, here it is. 170 is the administrative distance for routes that are coming from some other source redistributed inside EIGRP. Show IP EIGRP interfaces shows what all interfaces runs EIGRP and whether it has got a neighbor in that interface or not. This output shows that F00 is running EIGRP, but the other end of the wire is not. EIGRP router. So no peer is found because there is no peer established. There is no transmit, nothing. This serial link, you have one neighbor, smooth round trip time is 10, and there is some hello packet sent like multicast. Show IP IGRP topology, as I said, you will have all destination and their metrics, both advertised distance. This number 0 is advertised distance. See this 28160 is the metric for the neighbor to reach the destination, and this is the metric from this router to the destination. So this portion is advertised distance, this portion is feasible distance, total distance. Now why this is 0? Because this is not coming from some other router, it is this router's own network connected to null interface. That's why the advertised distance is 0. About this P passive, meaning these networks are well established. These networks that you see are well established, meaning EIGRP is not searching to trying to discover the destination's path. It is well discovered already. The path is well established. The routes are clear, no confusion. It's not having any doubt, queries about this destination. It is good. If you have A, U, Q, R, these are all very rare to see, but if you will see, it means it's under the process, not well established. Show IP IGRP traffic shows what all message types so far received and sent. I remember I showed you this. So this chapter was very lab oriented, configuration oriented. Show commands to troubleshoot, show commands to verify, then the configuration commands, and we also saw IP default network. Let's move on to the next chapter. Do you have any question before? We are stepping into the next level in understanding this protocol EIGRP, configuring advanced EIGRP options. But I tell you, whatever you have seen in the previous chapter is what widely been done. Because this protocol is a proprietary protocol, not many uses this protocol in an advanced level. They go with OSPF instead of having this protocol. But let's go through it. What if I have EIGRP and I want to do an advanced level of configuration? What is that advanced level? First of all, the summarization. You see, we can do summarization at any point. That's the best. It is claimed as the best. But when you compare to OSPF, we don't consider this as the best point. If you take OSPF, we have area structures. So we do summarization in a very precise, particular best place, which is called ABR. We don't do summarization here and there, wherever. No, that's not good. it's not that disciplinary approach. EIGRP is like you can do summarization at any point, wherever you want. Um, so EIGRP has got two type of summarization. One is global summarization, meaning the networks will be summarized and sent in all direction to all the neighbors. The other one is networks are summarized and sent only to a particular neighbor. When networks are summarized and sent only to a particular neighbor, we call it as manual summarization. How do we do that? We do it under the interface level. Whereas this automatic summarization, which is also called as global summarization, this is on by default in the older versions. In the newer version, you may on it by saying no auto summary. Sorry, you may enable the auto summarization by putting auto summary. I repeat, in the older version, auto summary command is by default given. So we usually go and say no auto summary, no auto summary, no auto summary, no auto summary because we don't want summarization. We don't want the default automatic summarization, so we used to cancel it. But in the newer version, automatic summarization is already cancelled. If you want, you may go and say auto summary. Now by default it is no auto summary. If you want, you can go and say auto summary. That will summarize the networks into classful boundaries, major network boundaries. Sorry. Okay, so that is about automatic summarization or global summarization. Now the manual summarization. Manual summarization is the summarization that we do under the interface, not global, not under router EIGRP, under the interface. Summarization is configured on per interface basis in any router within a network. So we go under the interface and we say summarize like this. When you do that, a route with null zero will be created. The reason is EIGRP cannot advertise a route which is not there in the routing table. If it needs to advertise the summary route, that route should be there in the routing table. So what happens is when you do summarization, a route pointing towards null zero gets created. And it is pointing towards null zero because it's a summary network for various networks from various interfaces. To avoid loop between the interfaces, it points towards null interface. I repeat, I want to explain it. You see, you have a router. On F00, you have 10.1.1.0/24. On F01, you have 10.1.2.0/24. On F0/3, you got 10.3.1.3.0.24. And you are doing summarization here like this. IP summary address 10.1.0.0 255.255.00. So you do not want to advertise these three networks. All these three starts with 10.1, so you want to summarize as 10.1 and send as a single update instead of three update. But if this need to be advertised, it needs to be there. It need to be there in the routing table. Without having this summary route in the routing table, distance vector protocols cannot advertise it. Not only distance vector, any routing protocol. So what happens is this route will be created pointing towards null 0. It's a dummy interface. Why it is pointing towards dummy interface? Because this 10.1 belong to more than one physical interface. F00, F01, F03. It belongs to all these three interfaces. So if it point towards one of this interface, it will cause loop. So it is not pointing towards any one of this interface. Instead, it point towards one common dummy null 0. That is what explained here as loop prevention mechanism. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so you see, I told you that this will be advertised in this direction. But when will that advertisement stop? Only when all these three go down. As long as any one of this is available, alive, this summary route advertisement will be sent. Right? That's what I explained here. When the last specific route of the summary goes away, only then the summary will get deleted. Okay, now if the metric of this one is 100, if the metric of this one is 200, and the metric of this one is 50, when you summarize these three, which metric will be given to the summary route? It is the minimum metric of the specific route, which means 50, not 100, not 200. It is only 50. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Very important. This is very important. There are two questions, important questions for interview in this page. Which metric of the specific route will be used for the summary route? Answer is minimum metric.
Minimum.
When will the summary route get deleted? Only when the last specific route of the summary goes away. Right?
Yes.
Now, as I told you, by default, summarization is off. You no need to type in newer version like this. By default, it is detailed. It is not auto summary. If you wish to on it, then you may say auto summary. But in the older versions, auto summarization is enabled, so we cancel it by typing no auto summary. That turns off automatic summarization. Now, this is how we do the manual summarization under the interface. I told you, you can go under the interface and do summarization. This is the command. IP summary address for EIGRP 100. 100 is the autonomous system number. Summarize like this. Right, so this is manual summarization. Optionally, you can give an administrative distance. The default is 90. You can give administrative distance optionally. All right, so here is the example for manual summarization. See, on this router, going under the serial interface, saying IP summary address, EIGRP autonomous system number 100, 172.16.00.255.255.00. So this is going to summarize these two networks and send as one single update. Instead of two line of route advertisement, it is going to be one single line. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Is it easy? Will you be able to do this, or you want me to do?
In the lab, sir.
Hmm?
I, I'll try, sir. I'll try and do it, sir.
Do you have GNS3 now?
Yes, GS3 is installed. I need to.
Okay, right. So we got these three routers to test EIGRP summarization. Here I'm going to say 10.12.0.0/24, and here down 10.13.24. Right, so let me use the notepad to finish this faster. On router 2, I'm going to say IP address. This is for router 2. And then interface of 00. And then we are going to run EIGRP. I say router EIGRP. 10 is the autonomous system number. And I'm going to say network 10.12.0.0.0.0.255.255. And then network 2.2.2.2 0.0.0.0. And then, as I said, summarization is off by default. So auto summarization is off. I no need to say no auto summary. End write to memory. Copy and paste it on router 2. Oh, in the notepad there is a mistake. A is missing.
Yes.
Okay. Then now let us do some verification, and then we will get into the next router configuration after verifying. Show IP protocol. You can see here automatic summarization is disabled. So you no need to
Disable it.
disable it. It's detailed. And then EIGRP 10. Show these are the two networks that EIGRP is running for. You can also verify that by typing show IP EIGRP interfaces. All right. Now on router 3, this is going to be 3.3.3.3, and here 13.3. So I'll put 13 here and here 3.3.3.3. I can also say 3.0.0.0. I don't need to exactly match like this. I can say and what I'm saying is if first octet is 3, that's enough for me. You run EIGRP. So paste it on router 3. All right, so now one last router. Router 1 I'm going to do manually on the command line, and it is going to be the newer EIGRP method. Interface loopback 1 IP address is 1.1.1.1. interface loopback 2,
IP address 1.1.
IP address is 1.1.2.2, interface loopback 3, interface loopback 4, interface loopback 5, interface loopback 6, done. Next is interface F00,
IP address
10, 12, 0, 1, 255. Interface F01,
10, 13, 0.
done. Now what next is I need to run EIGRP. You see, router EIGRP Shankar can be the processor, just a name, and then address family IPv4 unicast autonomous system. I don't know what number I gave. I forgot. 10. Okay.
10.
10. And then I'm going to say the networks, all the network. Advertise all of them. See, the neighbor has come up. Now, let us verify the command show IP protocol. Show IP protocol. Even in this method, when I do, you can see automatic summarization is disabled. As a result, you will get all the loopback networks on R3. You see, you are getting all of them in both R3 and R1. Sorry, R2. You're getting all of them. And when I go and enable the automatic summarization, I go and say router EIGRP Shankar, go under this and then say go under the topology base and say auto summary. When I do this global summarization, both R1 and R2 now will get only the summary. You see, it's getting only the summary. Not only R2, even R3 got the summary. So summarization minimizes the size of the routing table as well as the size of the update sent. That's the benefit. But I don't want to see the summary route on R3. What can we do? For that, what you can do is, you don't want to see the summary. You want to see detail. That is the meaning. So what you can do is you can go and cancel that automatic summarization by putting no auto summary. So R3 will have a detail. R3 and R2 both are now going to have detailed one. You're okay R3 having the detailed one, but you are not okay when R2 gets the detailed one. So if you want to summarize only for R2, you need to go to this interface F00 of R1. On R1, go under interface F00 and say IP summary address for EIGRP 10. 10, is it 10 or 100? 10. 1.1.0.0 255.255.0.0. That's it. This is what called as manual summarization. Now if you see the routing table, before you go to router 2 and 3, see here itself in the routing table show IP route, you will see a summary route pointing towards null 0. Where it is.
So can you highlight that, sir?
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to show you that, but I am not able to see. This is newer version. Newer version is slightly different. It's not showing. Let me
Okay.
see if there is any command summary. I can see here, but I don't see a route. Show IP route. But let us go and check in R2 whether it is getting summary route. On R2, I should get /16. No, it's not working that way. So I think in router 1 I have to try in another way. Instead of going under the interface, let me check show IP protocol. Okay, the EIGRP 10, that is correct. And I asked to do summarization, it is nowhere in here. So what I can do is, better I'll go under this router EIGRP Shankar. Under this, address family, and then topology base. I'll try to do that summarization here. I think interface level configuration is here. The manual summarization that I did earlier is for the older method. Here it is, I think, interface F 0/0. Under this, I have to summary address. How do you want to summarize? 1.1.0.0/16. Cool. Okay, so this is the syntax for the newer method. What I did under the interface, see show run interface F00, that is only for the older method. It's not working for the newer one. Do you follow me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Show
sir.
IP route now. I'm expecting, okay, look at this. Now it says I'm pointing towards null 0. You got it?
Yes, sir. Null 0.
Now let us go to router 2 and check. You should see only the summary. Yeah, you got the summary, right? So I'll stop